we are decolonizing not only Palestine and Western media, we actually decolonizing all the Middle East studies, political science, social science. We are taking responsibility for making a world that is worthy of living for everyone. And that is a collective liberation policies that Palestinians have taken in their intersectional way of actually looking at the Palestinian cause.
I think in the media narratives nowadays, and for a long time, the biggest issue is, of course, the language that is used, but also what is left unsaid. That we are only hearing these certain narratives and not necessarily what is happening on the ground in Gaza and in Palestine in general.
Yeah, exactly, but also overcoming, I would say, the Orientalist past, you know, and overcoming the Western image of the global South. What is a worthy struggle for self-determinations in the Western world, and what is a worthy struggle for self-determination when it comes to Palestine? And that we clearly say double standard, and it shows a naked hypocrisy and a lack of understanding and mindfulness and consciousness for real on what is really happening in the ground, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and concerns the whole global South in a way. Of course, now we are talking about Palestine, but it's a wider issue and a wider problem that is clearly seen in the media narratives and what stories that we hear.
Minimizing us as numbers, you know, and making us just like, oh, there are 15,000 kids or 16,000 kids have been killed.
Yeah.
That is what we are. And Western states have not really apologized for it, despite many mistakes have been happening. Libya, Syria, many countries, and of course Palestine as the central struggle in the global South. They want to not see us.
Yeah.
And they show us every time that they are not seeing us as worthy. Of, as you said, as worthy human of life and stories and struggle and political rights.
If we are only talking about how these big state actors are acting towards them and not seeing how they are themselves trying to live everyday lives in very difficult circumstances. So if we are not seeing that ground level at all, then we are not really seeing Palestinians. We are only seeing how they are acted upon.
And that tells a lot about the continuous structural institution and repression and silencing and intimidating of the Palestinian identity and the Palestinian present. And also, in the other side, I would say we are intimidating them. Not one time in history we have not been that as strong as today. They fear us. They fear that we are louder. The movement is much more organized, and I think it's good to say it's a good moment. I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm really radical optimist on that level. They would erase us, but I think 76 years have proven that Palestinians have never been erased. Every day they are much stronger and much more rooted and grounded, despite the horror and the genocide and what the heavy mountain of pain and what we have to endure daily to survive, and not only survive, to do more than surviving, is to resist and resist and resist and resist.